Your day-to-day self who is being harmed by this controlled explosion. Start by sitting in a comfortable, upright position with feet flat on the floor, and give your body a chance to settle into a posture that feels grounded, rooted, and stable. Now, closing your eyes and dropping your awareness down into your body and your breath. Noticing the flow of your breathing in and out. And just allowing your rhythm of breathing to settle into a smooth, even flow. Noticing those in-breaths coming deep down into the middle of your body. And those long, smooth out-breaths. Easing your shoulders back slightly and creating a bit more expansiveness and volume in your chest. And relaxing your facial muscles into a warm and friendly expression. Now create in your mind an image of your ideal compassionate self. What do you imagine that would look like? This version of you at your compassionate best. This is someone deeply committed to being a caring and helpful person, and who brings these caring intentions into the world with a calm confidence, wisdom, and strength. Just noticing what that image looks like for a minute. What you can see, how they stand, how they move, the expression on their face. And noticing what their voice tone sounds like when they speak. Is there anything else you notice about them? Now really focusing on some of the qualities of your ideal compassionate self. Qualities like wisdom, strength, and commitment to caring. And as we go through each of these qualities, just notice how they come across in the image of your compassionate self. Caring commitment. How is this conveyed in the image of your compassionate self? Maybe through their facial expression, body language, or some other characteristic. Wisdom. How does this quality come across in the image? What is it about their mannerisms and expressions that show you they are wise, that they have a deep understanding of people's struggles, and an intuitive knowledge of how to be helpful? Strength. How does your compassionate self convey their inner strength and confidence in the image? Maybe there is something about their body language and movement which shows that they are anchored and grounded, that they have the inner strength and courage to be a committed, caring and compassionate person. Now that you've created your image, we're going to try stepping into the shoes of your compassionate self. And imagine what that feels like becoming this person. Just trying that for a minute, being in the body and mind of your compassionate self. Noticing that inner calmness and strength in your body, that wisdom and knowledge, and what that feels like, having a deep desire to be a caring and helpful person. Staying with that for a bit longer, just connecting with that in your body and imagining what that feels like. And imagining what that feels like looking out at the world through the eyes of your compassionate self. Staying anchored in the mind and body of your compassionate self, we're now going to imagine taking a view from the balcony. This is a view where you can see all the things that are going on, like an aerial view. You might think of this as similar to being up in the skybox at a sports stadium, where you can see all the players below you. Or maybe a wide shot camera angle, where you can see things in the context of their environment. For this exercise, you are going to start up here on the balcony as your compassionate self. And just spend a bit of time seeing yourself in a moment of your daily life when a controlled explosion is happening. A moment of self-sabotaging, self-criticizing, or self-harming. Imagine that you are seeing this happening now as you look down from your balcony. Notice where you are and what you are doing, and see what happens as this controlled explosion is occurring in real time. It might be a self-sabotaging behavior, such as procrastinating or creating chaos. It might be a moment where you are self-criticizing or berating yourself. It might be a situation where you are harming your body in some way, either on the inside through food or substances, or on the outside. Once you have chosen the situation, just watch this scene playing out from your balcony view and noticing some of the emotions, tensions, and conflicts that are involved. And as you see this happen, remembering to stay firmly anchored in your compassionate self. As this wise and understanding version of you, who is calm, grounded, and supportive. As your compassionate self, you care about this person and their day-to-day struggles, and you want to help. We are now going to press pause on this scene and just think about which bomb squad member is present in this moment. Which unit is it from? Is it self-sabotage, self-criticism, or self-harm? And which unit member specifically is there creating this controlled explosion for you? Is it the certainty seeker, the submitter, the pain reliever, or someone else? When you have identified the bomb squad member, you can invite them to come and join you for a meeting in your room with chairs. As you imagine this room, what are some of the things you might see there to make this a more welcoming space? Think about colours, objects, textures, lighting. What would this room look like if it was an ideal, safe and comforting space? What would the chairs look like? How would they be arranged? Just spend a bit more time looking around this room, getting a sense in your body of the safeness feeling that it's creating. You are sitting here now in your room with chairs as your compassionate self. You arrange the chairs in front of you so that there are 2 chairs facing you. One is for the bomb squad member who is creating the controlled explosion, and the other is for your day-to-day self, the version of you who is receiving this controlled explosion and being harmed by this in their daily life. You invite them to sit down. You are welcoming, respectful, and thoughtful about their needs. And as they settle down in their chairs, you are noticing if there's anything you can do or offer to help them feel more comfortable. And if so, just do that now. As the compassionate self, you want to help, and you want to understand more about this conflict and why it's happening. You want to understand about the deeper fears and concerns that might be driving this. But before you ask about this directly, just spend a minute longer resting with your deep, compassionate intention towards them. Directing your compassion to this relationship and pattern they are caught in. For the fears and emotions they are struggling with. And directing towards them your desire to help them through this. When you're ready, you can ask the bomb squad member to tell you about why they are creating this harm or problem. Maybe asking them directly, what is the reason for creating this? What are you afraid of? What would be your greatest fear if you couldn't create this controlled explosion? What are you protecting us from? Once you have heard their response, you can then ask your day-to-day self what that feels like for them being the recipient of this controlled explosion. Just stay with this conversation for another minute or two if you can, listening to both of them and hearing what they each have to say, really tuning in to the emotions that are being felt, expressed, and communicated. If at any point it strays into a battle or argument between them, just bring your attention back to posture, breathing, and using your calm presence and qualities to guide the conversation back to a collaborative process of discovery. And remember, you can use your calm place image at any time you need. When they have finished speaking, you can calmly summarize and repeat back to them what you have heard. You can also tell them what you have learnt about the function of the controlled explosion and about the deeper fears and harms it is protecting. When speaking as the compassionate self, you are using your most warm and caring voice tone. Your gestures and mannerisms are calm, wise, steady, and supportive. If there is anything else that you think might be helpful to do or say to your day-to-day self, you can do that now. Something they may need to hear from you in this moment. And just stay with that for a minute, directing your compassion to your day-to-day self. You can finish this exercise by returning to your view from the balcony and seeing this scene below you, where your compassionate self is being supportive to your day-to-day self.